Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, El Shai B'Hashem. Let me say that again, I'm sorry. Giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem, El Shai B'Hashem, Ukakwadash, Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of you elect out there, Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Radio Hostess Wanda Smith, dead at 50 years of age. And this is a celebrity health news. This is Minister of Wellness site, Nathaniel Jordan, which he says shalom. I'm pretty sure he's been following some of the former One Westers. I'm positive of that, almost positive. Anyway, he has this channel for celebrities that die or they might be in a hospital, and it's all diet related. Yeah, all these diseases is pretty much when you do the research, it's pretty much diet related. You know, if you're born a healthy baby and you're a healthy, normal boy or girl, then when you hit your 20s and 30s and so forth, you got all kind of problems. It's because of your diet and your lifestyle. Maybe you don't exercise. And it's not just exercise, it's diet as well. And I'm guarantee you the main reason why she passed, I guarantee you she was diabetic, high blood pressure, which is hypertension, maybe some other diseases which is related to high cholesterol. So anyway, we get on brothers about being real big. You can drop dead. You can go to sleep. Certain brothers through the years that went to sleep with one brother from Dallas. He was big. He was real big. And after he had passed, I checked. Either Gabar, somebody showed me a video of him, and the guy was obese, morbidly obese. And when he was at the camp, he was rocking. And I recently saw another brother, a very big, obese, and I noticed he had that rock. He was rocking back and forth. And I was talking to Puzzle Ramlab, and he was telling me, when he goes out there, certain brothers he get on about being too big. Because she's easily over 100. I don't know her height, but I would think she's, I don't know, 5'5", could be taller, but she's definitely got 100 extra pounds carrying around, and that overworks your heart. She could have died of a heart attack, of a lot of things. But like I said, if she's this big, doctor already says, probably got diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Her diet is horrendously bad. But she's in the spiritual realm, so she's good now. She's famous for snapping on Cat Williams and Cat Williams let her have it. So let me do this here. Now, one precept that came to mind was Daniel chapter 1, where Daniel shows the difference between the king's food, which was rich in carbs. Jake, you got in the city, in New York, you got these Arabs that they set up these restaurants. They open 24 hours. You can go 3 in the morning and get something. And that's when you go in 3 in the morning, it's fucking crowded. And the menu is nothing but carbs. And they'll have one thing that's good for you, which is the salad. And I don't even know if that's GMO salad. You get the green salad. That's the only healthy choice that you got there. One item. You got pizzas, burgers, cheeseburgers, Philly steaks, deep fried chicken, chicken fingers, soda, Oh, they got the sweet potato pie, the apple pie. All that shit is bad for you. You go to I'm talking about New York City, especially like Harlem, Brooklyn, the Bronx. Harlem is part of Manhattan, Upper Manhattan. Go to any emergency room, and the people that is, first of all, it's always packed. Number one, and if you're not shot or stabbed up or didn't get hit by a car, you're there because of your diet, your bad diet. There's a term synergetic. If you have high blood pressure, that means you got high cholesterol, you sodium too high, too much sugar, too much goddamn sugar. You know, and I guarantee you, she never ate healthy. She ate all that, processed food. And you wonder why people die. And the worst thing is dying suddenly. And I guarantee you she died suddenly. So, like I said, when you go, let me do this. So I'm going to give you a precept. You can look at people and tell they're healthy by their builds, and not just by their builds, but by the glow on their face. Let me see. Daniel. I'm not going to make this long. You even got the bishop. You got Bishop Nathaniel pushing that, eating the healthy stuff and the right diet. Especially after he got out of the hospital, he said he was on his deathbed. Most High had mercy on him. Okay, let me see. But Daniel, I'll start the A verse and see what it says. But Daniel proposed in his heart or in his mind that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat or food. I'm going to look that up. So Daniel was a healthy guy. Daniel wasn't morbidly obese, like some of you brothers out there. And then some of y'all, it's hard to get rid of. You do the best you can. Some of y'all are past the point of no return, so there's really nothing you can do. But the least you can do is eat healthy. Get your smoothies, your green smoothies, your salads. Cut back on the carbs. When the Passover, back in the day, when the Passover came, I had a whole box of stuff that had yeast in it. Passover last year, year before that, might have been one or two things, if that. I don't think I got maybe one thing got yeast in it. Maybe. There's no yeast. I don't deal with yeast. Might be one or two things. But years ago, it would be two boxes of shit with all kind of yeast, with yeast in it. And when you go to these stores, you shop, you always look at the ingredients. Okay, but Daniel proposed in his heart that that he would, not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. So we're going to pull out a couple of words. You can say, oh, I don't eat pork and I don't eat shrimp, but you go to a BB's fried chicken. Oh, that's chicken. It's lawful. Yeah, but it's carbs. You eat that shit every day, you're going to wind up in the hospital. And most Jakes die not of gunshot wounds, getting hit by a car. Most Jakes die by their bad diet. Let me come back to that. All right, let me look up the word meat. Then I'm going to look up the word defile. You got to eat the best of the worst. The word is pathbog. Pathbog. See, this right here is not a character. Portion of food for kings, delicacies. So it wasn't just meat. So the pathbog. Okay, let me see. Okay, so it's in Daniel 1, and it's also in Daniel 11:26. Yeah, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. Now, you know what I'm going to do real quick? Now, this is the Daniel 11 took place. Daniel 11 took place already. Daniel 11, in a nutshell, is the 6 Syrian Wars. Look up the 6 Syrian Wars, and that's what Daniel chapter 11 is all about. Okay, so I took, what word did I take out? Okay, I took out Daniel 11:26. Okay, we don't need her no more. And for you brothers that have health problems, you check out the Minister of Wellness, Nathaniel Jordan. But he pushes the Hebrew Israelite things. Here we are, the Hebrew Israelites. And when he first came on the scene, he didn't mention nothing about the Hebrew Israelites when he first got on YouTube. So I guarantee you, you'll be watching some of our videos. And he goes into the scriptures, deals with the Sabbath, but the Sabbath is, he bases the Sabbath on Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, that is not necessarily the Sabbath. The Sabbath comes in based upon the new moon. This is basic stuff. Back to the basics. Okay, here it is. When I was boxing, I fought at 140 to 147. Some tournaments I fought at 147. But my actual weight was 140, which was junior welterweight. And I fought at 147 just to fight bigger guys. So when I go back to 140, the guys at 140 punches were nothing to me. I'm used to getting hit by guys 147. Right now I'm probably 180 plus. And my high school weight was 165, 170. So I'm not 250 pounds. And I do my walk. I did the walk yesterday. And also I did some weights. I did 2 sets of maybe 3-4 different exercises. I'm gonna build from there. That's my strength and conditioning. And today I'll have me my green smoothie. Okay, so now let's see what they say this is. Like I said, Daniel chapter, in a nutshell, is this, when you look it up, are the 6, look that up in Google. Okay, let me see. The 26th verse, and they that ate of his delicacies, meaning the rich foods, shall break him. Countries go by his I'm trying to get a table break. Daniel 11:20. The illusion may be Elusia Linus. It was that Philometor was first led to think of conquering Syria. Yeah, that's why it's called the 6 Syrian Wars. Antiochus, the Seleucid clan, were from Syria. That's why it calls Antiochus Epiphanes a Syrian. He was not a Syrian, meaning he was not an Arab. He was an Edomite, came up under Alexander the Greek. I'm talking about the Seleucid dynasty. Came up with Alexander and took that part of the world. But they were Edomites, they were Greeks. And the former of whom, after the battle of Pelusium, persuaded the king to abandon his country. Ptolemy Macron, also the very capable governor of Cyprus, deserted to Antiochus. And then they give you a reference in 2 Maccabee 10 verse 13. And you had more than one Antiochus. You had the main one in Daniel 11 is Antiochus Epiphanes, but you had more than one Antiochus. He was Antiochus IV, so obviously you had Antiochus III. I believe that was his uncle at that time, and he was ruler at that time. And his army shall overthrown, i.e. Antiochus' army, but the pronoun for Daniel 11:25 refer all to Philometor. That would have to be one of the kings of Egypt, the king of the south. The verb should therefore probably be vocalized as passive. I'll give you the Hebrew word. And his army shall be flooded, swept away, the word, and many shall fall down slain, as this Maccabees, 1 Maccabees 1:18, and made war against Ptolemaeus, king of Egypt. But Ptolemaeus was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death. So they got it right. And many fell down slain. Also Antiochus' victory in Egypt, where the Greek except in the tense is exactly the same as what is this right here? Septuagint, LXX, which means what? 50, 10, 10 is 70. And theod here. So they got it right. They knew it was part of the Syrian wars. So anyway, let me come back over here. So we now know that the portion of the king's meat is rich foods. portion of kings, portion of food for kings. Delicacies also, anything that's deep fried is a dainty in Revelation 18, or delicacies. The word goes back to lepos, which means grease or fat. So the king's food was like deep, it had to be deep fried. Read Revelation chapter 18 again. Matter of fact, let me go to this. Revelation 18. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this first. Let me go. I don't know why this doesn't work. Let me see something. Let me do it this way. It's not working for some reason. I got to do it the hard way. Just bear with me. Okay, let's look at delicacies. To be wanting to live luxuriously. So they ate rich foods, delicacies. Let's come on back. That was the 7th verse. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I can't get this word find to work. I got to change the keyboard. Let me try this word deliciously. Let me try this word deliciously. Abundance of his delicacies. When Jake make it, they live that life, man. P. Diddy did. Let me look up the word deliciously. Deliciously. To be one time. Okay. Come back over here. Okay, I believe I found it. 14th verse. And the fruit that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. So let's look up the word dainty. I would have found it a lot quicker had I was able to access the word find. I got to change my keyboard because I spelled something on it. That's what it is. So you see the word here, right? That's why it's important to go have that blue letter. And everybody's using that, man. All these different camps. The first one to use it was myself. Then Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rhymelove started using it, and then everybody started using it. It's a great tool. Anyway, the word there, let you hear it.
Strong's G 3045. Leparas. Leparas.
Leparas is lipos, where you get the word liposuction. Lipos means fat, and suction means to suck out the fat. And that's what they do. They open you up, and they suck the fat out of you. People that have that procedure, a couple years, they get fat again because they don't change their lifestyles. There's people that get it, and they change their lifestyles, and they never get fat again. Grease and fat is the same thing. It says things which pertain to a sumptuous and delicate style of living. Because the poor, years back, they couldn't eat the king's food because it was expensive, because you had these chefs do a process. There was a point where poor people ate like wheat bread and rich people ate white bread and sugar. That's what the whole slavery was about, because they brought the price down to sugar. You had to be rich to eat sugar or white bread or pastries or deep fried things. So guarantee you, and that's why Jake be killing each other too, because of that diet messes your brain up. Your circuits are blown. Let me come back over here. Where's she at? Guarantee you she been to I'm not snapping on her. She been to the Waffle House, chicken and waffle, which is terrible, man. I remember when that shit first came out. It came from the South up here to New York among Jake. You eating fucking carbs, which is a waffle, nothing but yeast, with syrup, which is not even real syrup. That's that BS, that fructose syrup. It's not real syrup. A bottle of syrup gonna cost you about $10. A small bottle of syrup, which is nothing but sugar. The waffle turns into sugar because it's nothing but yeast. It's carbs. You got chicken. You got deep fried chicken, which is nothing but carbs and protein. No fiber whatsoever. And Jake be blowing each other away. Part of that reason is because they got all that poison in their kidneys and their livers. Yeah, most Jakes out there in the world have, if you're not diabetic, you're pre-diabetic. You're all fucked up. You're all fucked up. If you're not dying, you're killing somebody, killing another Jake. So it says the radio host Wanda Smith joked on by Cat Williams. I know you're gonna say a few words on it. He might say, "Well, I'm sorry she passed. My condolences for being obese." That's obese. I don't need to do a test to diagnose you with obese. You can look at a person. Her BMI, her body mass index, had to be maybe 50, 55%, fat, percentage wise. A normal in shape person is supposed to be maybe around 10, maybe 15. A bodybuilder, they try to get their shit down to 5, 3, no fat at all. They be dropping dead too, because they go the opposite route. Too much protein tears their livers up. Is dead at just 58 years old. And like I said, Cat Williams ain't snapping on her. So we got to hear from him. So, I'm sorry. Let me come back over here to Daniel. I kind of stretch it out a little bit. Okay, let's go back to Daniel 1. So it said he refused to eat the king's meat. The king's meat was the same meat in Revelation 18. Delicacies and dainties. Dainties goes back to the Greek word lipos, lipo. That's where you get lipo, fat, grease. Jake likes shit deep fried. Richard Pryor, he did, and I was watching it recently. He was going into the mob. He was working at a club, I believe in Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio. And he was talking about the Italian mobs that ran that shit. And they were saying, "Oh, give him, I love this boy, give him some food." They fry it up, they like things fried. Well, guess what? Southern Italians like things fried up too. And a lot of y'all are over fucking obese, because you're Negroes. You tell us to say he's a Negro, he want to fight you. You're a product of the Moors. It says, now the Most High had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. He was cool with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. And it said wine, right? He said, I'm not going to drink your wine either, because that's not the wine of the grapes. It ain't saying don't drink wine, but don't drink their wine. For why should he see your face worse likened than the children which are of your sort, your people? Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. My head gonna get chopped off. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, which is the Babylonians' names was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but these are their Hebrew names. Prove thy servants, I beseech thee 10 days. So this was an experiment. And let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Pulse represents greenery. Basically fiber fiber. Probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, and fiber for the gut. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servant. So he consented to them in this matter, and proved them or tested them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter, meaning, not fat in a bad way, in flesh, than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. So they were healthier. Their body started working, and it reflected in the face. Let me pull some words out. Let me get ready to close. Not going to leave you here long. Okay, fairer and fatter. Fairer. Which is tawab, which is good, pleasant, rich. They got a healthy look in their faces. So let's look up the word fatter. Fatter. And the word is baraya. Baraya. Fat. Like they were fed. They got the nutrients in there. Didn't mean they were fat face. Firm. One of the words there is firm. Rank. Healthy, Fed. Plenteous, meaning they got the proper nutrients. That's why Jake be always eating all day. They're always hungry because they're not getting nutrients in their bodies. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next shalom.